Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Well, we're here today with something that I'm going to be sharing for the next 4 videos, which is hair ties decorations. Like, we are going to take a simple hair tie and we're going to transform it in a really cute, beautiful, incredible pattern, just because there's so many variations that we can create. I'm going to show you only on the this neon orange yarn. I'm gonna show you the basic and just on one color and stuff like that, but you can go along and you can change the hook size, and you can change the colors, and you can change the styles as you want to create what you're looking for. As you can see here, I have 3 of the styles that I've done, but I actually decided to do a 4th one, which I'm gonna be sharing in as I said, separate videos. So we have one like a flower, then we have another one like a spiky, and then we have this one. This one is a combination of stitches, so that's why it's not that simple. And we're gonna make another one that is gonna be a lot more simple, that is just gonna be based on single crochets. But here I have the example of this one. You can see how pretty it is when you do 2 colors, the contrast that is great, as long as you have yarns that match properly. As I said, for this video, I'm just going to be using this one. And by the way, this yarn called for a 5mm. So you always have to go slightly lower on your hook, just because you want these patterns to look quite tight. You don't want them to be loosed up, because they are not going to look good. And we have to cover the entire hair tie. So we need to make sure we are covering. Like you can see, you cannot say that there is a hair tie inside of it, but it is. Okay, look at this flower as well. You can always come and do different colors for the petals, and that's gonna be gorgeous. This one is super easy to do as well. And the black one I didn't finish because I didn't have yarn enough, but it's as well a really pretty one that I'm gonna give you the full step by step. So you can see they are really easy to do in no time, and you can easily make a bulk of them, take a couple of yarns and create different designs. Buy one of these packages that have like plenty of hair ties, and let's get along with the step by step of how to do these beautiful hair ties for either grown-up or kids. It doesn't really matter, because it's normal, regular size of hair tie. So that's something you also have to keep in mind. By the way, let's get along with the step by step. We're gonna start with a really simple one, and this one is just the basic stitches. So you're gonna start doing a slip knot, and this slip knot will be attached to the hair tie. I decided to use 4mm at the end, because as I said at the beginning, this yarn called for a 5. What you're gonna do is you're gonna attach that yarn to your hair tie, and the way to do it is gonna be based on single crochets. So how many do you have to do? Well, that will depend on how big and how thick your hair tie is. So you have to build as many single crochets as your as you need to cover the entire hair tie. So go along, keep working on them, and this one is our base for every single project that I already shared or I'm about to share in the next few days. So this is the basic way how you're gonna start every single of these. Actually, 4 projects. As I was working along, I decided to do an extra one for you, and they are really simple, they are really easy, and this is why I say you can use 2 colors. In this case, I could have started with a neon orange, and I could have changed for another type of color to make it more like coming out and be more unique and more colorful. That's something you can play with if you have a lot of yarns around. You don't really need much yarn for this project. Obviously, the one that I used for the testing at the beginning of the video, it's quite short. Like, I was just testing to see how does it look like, if I wanted to do it the full round, if I want to do it only half, you know, like it will be visible only on the top when the person put it on, but then on the bottom will be plain. That's also an option you can do. You can always stop and do kind of like, let's call it like half of a moon pattern as well. But the base, which is this one, has to be done all covering your hair tie, because I don't think you want to see the hair tie, especially if you don't have a hair tie that really completely matches the color of the yarn. That's why the black one is really good, because even if I missed some stitches and I was meant to do more or whatever, it will have fade away just because the hair ties are like dark brown and the yarn is black. But in this case, it's really visible, the contrast between one color and another. So obviously we need to keep that in mind at the time of working. If you were to use another color, you can change by now. By the way, bring the tail back with you so you secure that beginning. I know some tails are quite wobbly and then they feel like there's threads everywhere, but the more you secure it, the faster and easier will be for you to work on these projects. Once you have reached the full length of the stitches that you need, as you can see, I'm even squeezing some of them in to make sure it's all covered. We are going to do a slip stitch. So as I was saying, if you were to do different colors, once you do this slip stitch, that will be the end of your first color and you will have to attach the other one. If you don't know how to attach colors, I have shown in multiple videos previously to this one, so you can go and check them. Once we have created the base of our circle, we have to start creating the beautiful petals. And to do so, you are going to chain 2, and then on the same space that you have created that chains, sorry, my camera keep out of focus just because obviously I have so many things on the background, but sometimes I don't realize. Okay, so in that space, you're going to do 1 double crochet. Can you see? That's how you create the first petal, okay? So you're going to repeat that because the first chain that we've done count as part of the petal, if that makes sense. So right now you have the chains plus 3 more petals, or 3 more stitches, sorry, to build up the petal. And then you're gonna repeat that again 1 more time. So in total, you're like building those many stitches in that go, and then you're gonna skip 1, and then you're gonna do a 1 single crochet to create the edge between one petal and the other petal, if that makes sense. So now you're gonna skip 1 stitch again, and then you're gonna work the double crochets on the next one. So there is between petal and the single crochet, there's 1 gap of stitches, and between that one and the next petal, again, you have again another stitch that you're not working on. Okay, that's something to keep in mind, because otherwise they're gonna get really like all together and it's not gonna look as pretty as it should. So keep that in mind, that to skip that stitches in between. Okay, so once you have created all the double crochets that you need, again you will skip 1, do a single crochet, and then once again skip 1, and then do it again. No matter the amount of stitches that you've done, because it should, for an unknown reasons, I tried a few times and it will line up. You will end up with the necessary amount to finish properly from one to another. So if you're worried like, oh, I'm gonna arrive at the end and then I'm gonna have 2 petals together and no way to close it up or whatever, no, you do. Don't tell me how, but I tried a few times and it worked without needing to count so much. So again, keep going through the entire pattern. If you're doing a different color, it will look gorgeous. Like I'm doing some of them to put them on my Etsy store, because if you didn't know, and if you like patterns, I have on the description box down below the link to my Etsy store, and over there you can actually get your pattern, and as well, if you prefer the physical product as well, you have it. You just have to look up for the picture that represent the pattern or the physical product that you want. I as well have the bundle of all of them together available for physical purchase, and keep an eye on that in order to make the proper order once you are ready for it. And as well, you have the opportunity of personalize your physical items as you want to. So you can always come, change the colors of the yarns, change the size of the hair tie, and multiple other things, you just have to contact me either on my social media or directly on my Etsy store. Let me know what you're looking for, and then we can discuss it and work on it together to make it more unique and more personalized for you. But if you're brave enough, you like crochet, you want to try this out, go on and do it yourself, because it's so easy. There is no way you will get lost in these type of patterns just because they are just same step over and over and over again through the whole entire circle. So I can suggest another modification as well. Maybe you want to make it bigger because the head side that you have is massive. Then yes, I will suggest that you do one first line of single crochets, one second line of single crochets. So maybe you do 2 of single crochets, same like we did on the first video of all of these hair ties that I shared. And then in what will be the third row, you're gonna create the petals. That's another option as well. Valid enough, good enough for creating something bigger, just adjustable to the hair tie that you're using. The ones that I'm using are really simple. They are just like basic ones you can get in any store in many sizes and colors and shapes. There are some of them that are slightly thinner. The thicker ones are the ones that I suggest for this project, but if you only found the thin ones as well, they will work. But if you get only the thin ones, I will suggest you use even a smaller hook, because you have to keep it really, really tight due to how thin and fragile that hair tie it is. You don't want to put something really thick and heavy on top of it, otherwise it won't stand up properly and it won't fit as it should. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying and you understand the type of hairbands that I'm talking about that are really thin. And in my case, I don't use them because I have really thick hair and it will never hold. But yeah, those are the ones that I'm talking about. So as you can see, I reached the end and I did my single crochet and then I did my slip stitch. So I'm connecting the last single crochet with the last petal and then I will be done. Look, I tried a few times and it worked. It just, when I arrived at the end, exactly I was on need of putting a single crochet and then slip stitching. I mean, I didn't count how many chains I've done at the beginning, to be honest. But the only thing that you have left to do is sew and hide that tail from the yarn. So use your tapestry needle. Don't leave a really long yarn. Just leave enough to secure it. And remember to pull a little bit your last stitch up so it doesn't dig in when you pull the yarn away. And just work in between stitches. So that's the best and the simplest way I can suggest for you to hide away the tail of the end of your project. And lucky us, we hide the tail from the beginning before, so we don't have to worry about that anymore, because we know 1, it's secure, and 2, it's hidden under the first row of stitches that we have done. Always try to do that. If you can just hide the tails easy peasy as you are building up stitches, do so. So it's gonna save you a lot of time. I will say actually in this hairband or hair tie, I felt like maybe a couple of stitches more in the first row will have been needed, but once I started using it and everything fall back to place, I didn't feel it anymore. It was just like now that I could see a little bit the hair tie and I was feeling like maybe a couple of them more and a little bit tighter, it will look better. But I mean, it's handmade. It can never be absolutely and completely perfect and hidden everything, okay? I could have found the words. I hope you really like how pretty this flower hair tie looks like. And if you do, please don't forget to give us a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Here I have the 4 last videos that you have enjoyed for the past few days with 4 different projects. So you can see here was the single crochet with the slip stitches, single crochet and double crochet with the slip stitches. Then we have the spiky one, which I'm gonna go right now and iron it, and then the flower petals. So there you go, all of them. Thank you so much, and don't forget to check out our next video. Bye.